Okay, so we've moved on to quarter-sawn boards. Quarter-sawn boards are boards that have their growth rings at an angle of between 45 and 90 degrees to the wide face. So in a perfect world, they'd all be at 90 degrees and all the lines would be nice and straight. But in reality, quarter-sawn boards tend to come out of a pretty wide section of the center of the log. So the very center of the log is a nice pure quarter-sawn board, and then as you move up and out, you start to go closer to rift-sawn. There are ways to cut logs so that every single board is quarter-sawn. They're really wasteful, which is one of the reasons why quarter-sawn material is so much more expensive. The other reason is if they are selecting the quarter-sawn planks out of the middle of the log and selling the top and the bottom as flat-sawn, they're going to charge a premium for selecting that material out. The other thing to look out for is the center of that board that's closest to the pith or the center of the tree is going to be pretty unstable material. So a safe bet is always to cut that out, get rid of it, or stabilize it somehow. I mean, if you have the actual pith, you better count on getting rid of that pith. Some trees, the entire pith will just delaminate out of the board. Other trees, you'll get cracking that starts from the center of the pith and goes out. Another feature of a quarter-sawn board is on the wide face, you have the medullary rays are nearly parallel to the surface of the board. And whenever they're right on the surface or they exit the surface, if you have a particular species like white oak, they're really prominent. In species like maple, they tend to be really subdued. It's sort of like a sparkle you can see in the wood. Something like sycamore or cherry, it gets more pronounced. Quarter-sawn cherry is really beautiful. If you're going to use a wide quarter-sawn board, usually you're doing it to show off that grain. These boards tend to be used in panels and tabletops, that sort of thing. The other thing to look out for, and one thing to avoid using a quarter-sawn board for a leg, is that it's basically just the other side of a flat-sawn board. So you've got nice, clean, straight lines on one face, but then you're back to cathedrals on the others. So if you want a consistent look all the way around the leg of a part, don't go for quarter-sawn. Go for the rift-sawn stuff here at 45 degrees and use that for the parts that you're going to turn and see on all different sides. You'll have a nice, consistent look all the way around.